TARDIS. It can travel anywhere in time and space. And it's mine.
It is. Look at it.
Go on, say it. Most people do.
Smaller on the outside.
Hello and welcome to Smaller on the Outside, or as I would like to call it, Sodocast, a podcast all about Doctor Who and everything we could possibly think of regarding the show. My name is David Gillian. I will be your double-hearted Time Lord this evening, and with me as always is my companion.
Hi, I'm Andy.
Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. It's the Timbot.
Hey, yeah, this is Tim.
And he is our robot.
I am a robot.
Yeah, this episode is gonna be basically talking about what Doctor Who is gonna basically give a short recap of the entire series before we get into more recent stuff. Here's the thing, if you don't know what Doctor Who is, I'm not sure why you are listening to this, but this is a great chance to kind of get up to date on what the show is, and it'll give you a few good ideas. You should really be watching the show. I recommend you watch it from the 2005 series onwards. But this will give you a quick glance at what the show is, and we're going to be talking about some of our favorite episodes throughout the series, and
Wow. Andy sure can talk.
And the show is on Netflix, right? Netflix.
I believe seasons 1 through 6 of the new series from 2005 onwards are there. There are some old episodes if you're interested in that. Most people probably won't be, but if you're a die-hard Doctor Who fan, there's some cool old episodes from there. I've seen every single classic episode from the 1963 series onwards.
That you could watch,
yeah.
Right?
Well, I've seen all the ones that you can't, too.
No, that's stupid.
Because there are reconstructions which have pictures and audio from the original episodes. Some of them are even animated. So I've seen reconstructions of those episodes as well. So I've seen every episode of Doctor Who that was made for TV that was ever made. There are some that were made for radio, but I haven't listened to those yet. I'm planning to eventually, but I haven't listened.
Can we talk about something else?
Basically, those people who are listening and still have no idea what Doctor Who is.
Doctor Who was originally a show that came out in the 60s. It was one of the first major sci-fi shows
On the BBC.
It lasted until the mid-80s, but then it went off the air. And in 2005, they decided to revive it, and they kind of rebooted it at the same time. They did it in a way so you didn't have to know anything from the classic series. So if you want to get started with the show, that's the best place to start, I think.
What the show is about, it's all about the Doctor.
Yep.
And
Tell me, who are you? Doctor Who.
the Doctor, and his name is not Doctor Who. The Doctor Who is a question. The Doctor, he's a Time Lord from outer space. He looks like a human.
So he's an alien. He's
Yeah.
from a race of aliens called Time Lords.
Yes, and he has 2 hearts, and he rides a TARDIS. Now, did I get this mistaken, or did he decide what the TARDIS looked like, and he decided it looks like a phone booth?
Okay, the TARDIS, well, first of all, the TARDIS is a spaceship. It's a box that when you step inside the box, it's this big old spaceship inside. It's bigger on the inside, or otherwise known as smaller on the outside.
As in Season 7, right?
Yes.
Smaller on the inside. Did I say it wrong?
It stands for time and relative dimensions in space. And what that means is once you enter the doors, you're kind of entering a new dimension, which is where the inside of the spaceship is held. And the thing is, it's supposed to disguise itself to blend in with the environment. So in the 1960s, when it showed up in 1960s England, it disguised itself as a 1960s police telephone box. The thing is, he stayed there for a while, and the thing that disguises the TARDIS, called the chameleon circuit, it got stuck. So now it's stuck as a police telephone box. There was a couple of chances in the old show that he got to fix. he could have fixed it, but he decided to leave it as it was because he just started getting liked the police telephone box look. So he just decided to keep it. You know, now it's just the iconic TARDIS look. There have been other TARDISes in the classic show. I'm not sure if you knew that. The Master had a TARDIS. There was another Time Lord. And then they also show what the TARDIS looked like when it doesn't have a disguise on at all, which is just basically a silver box.
We got to talk now about how there's been a bunch of different actors who have played the Doctor, the same guy.
So the Doctor is a Time Lord, as we've spoken. This is a race of people who they basically have 13 lives. If their life is running out, they, instead of dying, they regenerate. All their cells renew themselves and rearrange themselves into a new pattern, which basically makes them come out looking like a different person. And that's how they get away with recasting the Doctor, and that's how they got away with keeping the show running for so long.
Hey guys, the bathroom's free.
It's still the same person. It's the same person inside, but they have a different personality, a different look, and everything like that.
Yeah, because we've seen TV shows and movies where actors have been recast, and it's usually the stupidest thing they've ever done right before the show is canceled.
Pretty much.
So this is one of the very few times where it's actually part of the show, and you can't wait
if you're gonna do it
again.
If you're gonna do it right and put it into the story, and I think that's what makes it so good.
And you're always wondering who's gonna come out next, because each Doctor seems to be better than the last, even though you think it's impossible.
Well, that's a matter of opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's different facets as to who I think.
I still like David Tennant, which was the 10th Doctor. I like him the best.
I like his character the best. I like the stories of Matt Smith better.
Oh yeah, definitely. Stephen Moffat, which is the current head writer of Doctor Who, he also writes for the show Sherlock. He is a genius.
I gotta go to bed.
He is really a genius writer, and he's got some of the greatest episodes as well as some of the greatest new villains that the show has seen, such as the Weeping Angels, the Silence, and things like that.
Those are some good villains, too.
Yeah. What he's good at is really having a story that comes together at the end where, you know, in the final episode of the season, all these things come together, and you're like, how did I not see this coming? You know, it's got all these clues that have been happening all throughout the season, or even seasons before that. Russell T Davies did similar things, but I think Stephen Moffat is really good at it as well.
The Doctor also has a companion with him at all times.
The Doctor comes to Earth, and these people just start, you know, hanging around him while he's doing his mission, and he attaches to these people and invites them into his TARDIS, and who's gonna say no to traveling through space, to all of space and time, you know? So they come with him. He doesn't work well on his own. He needs people to bounce off ideas off of him. He needs that spark of humanity. When he doesn't have that, he can become evil, almost.
The companions themselves are almost as epic as the Doctor, sometimes even more so. Their storylines are very, very well developed, and you don't think there can be a better companion.
The only one I wouldn't say that for is Martha. I liked Martha, but I think the other ones are just so much better that Martha kind of is a little disappointing in comparison.
Yeah, Martha wasn't all that, but she
still had a good story in the end, and especially they gave her a little bit of closure as well when Tennant was leaving.
But just our last companion, Amy, she had a really, really great story.
Yeah.
And then they introduced Clara.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be. We can get to this later.
We've seen her now in 2 episodes.
The first episode, I didn't know she was gonna be the new companion. We should really talk about this later, but the first moment I saw her, I didn't know she was gonna be companion, but I said if that was gonna be the companion, it's gonna be a great companion. Yeah.
She's perfect.
She is,
and she
really good.
She is. We don't know much about her at this point, but
we know she's gonna be really good.
Yeah, from what we are given, we're like, holy cow, who's Amy? This person's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the series as a whole, and I'm talking like the new series and not like 50 years before that.
Right. I could go on forever talking about the old series, but I mean there's some good stuff in the old series, but I would only suggest that for people who are die-hard fans of the new series. If you can't get enough Doctor Who, then go ahead, watch the old series, but just be prepared. It's boring at times. You know, it doesn't compare to the new series, but in its own light, it can be pretty good.
So the first season of Doctor Who, which started in 2005, was the only season that starred the same actor for the Doctor for only one season.
Christopher Eccleston.
And tell you what, when I first started watching Doctor Who, the first thing that I thought of was that it was very tacky, very weird.
It was low budget.
It was low budget. I didn't know exactly what was going on here. Didn't know if I would actually get pumped about it. I was actually starting to watch it in full screen. But I
think they fixed that on Netflix.
It was interesting, though. It had stories I've never seen before, even if they were done tacky. And Christopher Eccleston grew on me pretty fast. He's all fantastic.
Oh, he is great, Doctor. I really wish he could have been on there for more than one season. He's really good. I really hope they bring him back for the 50th anniversary. I really hope that they can do that.
How long is this gonna go for?
Anyways, the first season wasn't all that special. There was no like real super story going on in this season like there is in later seasons.
There
was. It was more about just introducing the Doctor, wasn't it?
The Bad Wolf.
Oh, there was
story.
Bad Wolf, but
yeah, it's actually throughout the entire season. It starts with episode 3 is the first instance I think you hear of Bad Wolf. So it's scattered throughout the whole season. It's very much like a Stephen Moffat storyline. But the best episodes...
It's hard to remember because there's better storylines later.
Right. The best episodes people usually talk about for season 1 are the Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. These were both written by Stephen Moffat. And they were the first episodes to introduce Captain Jack Harkness, which later became the main character of the show Torchwood.
There's one episode that I liked. I don't think it was the one that got me hooked. I was still checking out the show, but it really interested me once they got in Father's Day.
Yeah. I probably wasn't hooked until maybe Dalek. The first episode with the Dalek. That was a really good one, too.
Yeah, that was 2 episodes before Father's Day.
Yeah. So with the first season, if you start with the first season, don't give up if you don't like the first episode or 2. It takes at least a couple episodes, 2 or 3 episodes to know that you want to see more, but you won't be hooked probably until you're maybe halfway through the season. But once you get there, you'll know this is something special. You know, you'll start to notice that.
I think from the Empty Child on, it just shoots and gets better.
Yeah. Well, except for Boomtown. Boomtown's not very good. Boomtown is the return of the Slovene, those fat, ugly aliens.
Oh.
You know, you kill them with
people that they zip. Yeah. That's all right.
Those are kind of childish and dumb, but the finale is great.
The finale was pretty darn good, and
that will introduce us to the next Doctor.
The 10th Doctor.
David Tennant.
Catch up.
Now, at first, you're going to be like, no, bring back the 9th Doctor.
Yeah,
Who's this weirdo, you know?
First thing you're going to think of, like, no.
Well, the first episode he's in, the Christmas special, he's just laying there on the bed for half the episode because he's getting over his regeneration. Every Doctor starts getting over their generation differently. But just give it, 2 episodes and you'll be hooked on this guy. He is fantastic. Many people consider him to be the best Doctor.
While I say I want Christopher Eccleston to show up for that one episode of the 50th anniversary, I'm waiting for Matt Smith to regenerate back into David Tennant.
A lot of people say that. I don't think David Tennant would be willing to do that, but I'm almost certain David Tennant would be willing to show up on the show again, though. He loves the show. He's a huge fan of Doctor Who.
I just don't know anything about Doctor Who.
Doctor Who!
I don't know what you're talking about.
By the way, I think we are the only podcast for Doctor Who that is American.
Really?
I was going through a bunch of Doctor Who podcasts, and they're all British.
Well, I mean, that's where the main following traditionally was. But I mean, recently in the last few years, since the beginning of Matt Smith, it's really transitioned to a very popular American audience. So I'm surprised there isn't more. There probably are some but maybe
Right,
not,
because
maybe
I mean,
not.
they started out in the show with just showing British people trying to do American accents, and then they actually got American actors to do the stuff.
Yeah, the last couple seasons when they've done stuff that take place in America, they've actually done it in America, or at least gotten American actors. The funny thing is, though, in season 1 with Captain Jack Harkness, he's actually Scottish in real life, but
Yeah.
he grew up in America, and people made fun of his Scottish accent, so he learned how to be an American accent. And that's his natural accent now, except when he's back home in Scotland with his parents. He speaks Scottish. But
Oh, bless you.
yeah, but when he's at home in America or anywhere else, he speaks with an American accent just because it comes so naturally to him now.
Do you have a favorite episode/episode arc, like a two-parter or something in season 2?
Season 2,
I do.
There are a couple that are really good. The finale is the best, I think.
You think?
Is fantastic. The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit are also really good.
Yeah, those are my favorite. The Impossible Planet and Satan Pit.
And then the other notable episode is The Girl in the Fireplace. That's another Stephen Moffat
Yeah, I remember
episode,
that
and it's
one, yeah.
a really good one as well.
Yeah, that was a good one.
School Reunion brings back Sarah Jane Smith from the classic series, if you're a fan of that. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was like the worst episode I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I have to say Impossible Planet, Satan Pit.
The worst episode ever, a lot of people say. Do you know what it is?
What's that?
Love and Monsters. It's
Love and Monsters?
Yeah, it's do you know what the episode is?
Oh, it's that guy
the
who...
Absorbaloff.
Yeah, he absorbed people.
Yeah, a lot of people say that's the worst episode ever of Doctor Who. Or a lot of people don't like Fear Her as well.
Oh, come on. Fear Her's awesome.
I think it's a fun episode, but a lot of people don't like that one.
Chloe!
I'm coming to get you. I'm going to hurt you.
I'm going to hurt you,
Who
Chloe.
was that?
Come on, that's great. That's one of the best episodes of the season.
But
Just because of that.
the season's got a great ending, I think. And this is the end of Rose's story. Well, sort of.
Sort of, yeah. Because
Temporarily.
when season 3...
4.
Because when season 3 comes in, we got Martha, right?
Season 3 starts with Martha. But however, before we get to that, there's the episode called The Runaway Bride, which is a Christmas special that comes out in season 2. This is Donna's first appearance is in The Runaway Bride. She is later a companion, but she's not a companion right away.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
I like her in The Office better.
No. No way. She's pretty disappointing in The Office. Anyway, The Runaway Bride, it's a great introduction to Donna, but we'll get more into that later. Let's go to Martha Jones.
Well, she was working in the hospital, right?
Yeah, she was a nurse in the first episode, but she becomes a doctor throughout the series.
No, she becomes a companion, Andy.
Dave's got you there.
She's
Not the doctor.
I think it's after she leaves the doctor that she becomes an official doctor, and then she later becomes a member of UNIT. And then later she's just like a freedom fighter against aliens and stuff.
Yeah. It's not the best episodes, at least I don't think. You know, Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks.
Those are the episodes that take place in America. They're not very good, but they do have one notable guest appearance. Andrew Garfield, the new Spider-Man.
I remember you saying that. I don't remember actually seeing him.
Yeah, he's one of the Americans. He's one of the poor people that's living in the shantytown, you know, and he's working, trying to make money, and he gets put to work by the Daleks.
But you gotta remember, in Evolution of the Daleks, we got human Daleks.
Oh gosh.
You guys want pepperoni sausage or just cheese?
You
Dumb.
see that, but you remember the first episode of season 7.
Yeah, there's a parallel there.
I was like,
They did it better
Yeah,
in
it's like
season 7.
other than the finale, what's your favorite episode of season 3?
Well, including the 3 episodes of the finale, I like specifically the Utopia one, with ends with the Master. That is a great episode.
I like the Last of the Time Lords with the old doctor.
That's okay. That's
Like,
okay.
He's like the
But I
tiny doctor.
Yeah, but I really like
no,
the Utopia, but Blink. Blink is almost
Blink
everybody's.
is my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite of the season, other than the finale.
The episode 42 is also really good, where they're stuck on a ship that's about to crash into the sun.
Right, and they have to answer the life.
And then the episodes Human Nature and The Family of Blood, those are also pretty good. A lot of people like those as well. Those are when the Doctor has to become human. And,
Oh, yeah.
And he has to end up remembering who he is and stuff. Those are good episodes as well. So
Yeah,
pretty
we're
much
starting to get into.
the last half. Pretty much the last half of season 3 is just all good stuff.
Yeah, I'd say that we're starting to get into territory where almost all the episodes are good.
After season 3, we've got the Christmas special with the Titanic, and that one was okay, but I didn't think there was anything special about it.
What are you talking about?
There was a small special though that had the 5th Doctor show up again. That was written by Stephen Moffat too. But let's move on to season 4 with Donna.
Yep, Donna comes in
This
to play.
Probably, as far as Doctor Who, the new series, is concerned, I believe season 4 is probably the best season there is.
No. You got that all wrong.
I don't know if I agree with that.
It's got a great story arc, a fantastic finale, and Donna is she is great. Like, I don't know if you've seen season 4 more than once.
I don't know. I just know that Donna's not my favorite.
She's one of my favorites. For a while, Rose was my favorite. Then I changed that to Amy. I'm almost certain Clara is going to be higher than Amy. But Donna was up there as well. And the finale is just probably one of the best finales there are. But you can't ignore the Silence in the Library and the Forest of the Dead. Oh.
Right, those are obviously the best, I think. I mean, obviously the finale.
It's hard for me to decide between those two and the finale, but they're probably pretty close to each other.
For me, I'm gonna try to say my favorite episode, but not the finale, because
Right.
obviously the finales are always going to be on top. So it's gonna have to be like, other than the finale, what was your favorite episode? So
I would have to say Forest of the Dead. Out of those two, Turn Left is also really good, but that might count as part of the finale. The one where the 2 episodes where there's actually 3 episodes where Martha comes back, where it's Martha, the Doctor, and Donna all together, are really good. The Centauran Stratagem, the Poison Sky, and the Doctor's Daughter. The Doctor's Daughter in particular is very good.
I agree.
Planet of the Ood it's not horrible, but it's decent.
I like the Ood, like in general.
The Fires of Pompeii, I really like that one. Partners in Crime, great episode. The Unicorn and the Wasp is okay, not special. Midnight is another really good episode, where they're stuck on the transport and they got the knocks going on the outside of the thing, and the doctor's. There's somebody in the room that starts echoing exactly what the doctor says, and it's just really good episode.
No, I skipped right through that part.
So pretty much almost every episode of this season, I cannot find anything negative to say about this season. That's what I love that season so much.
We're going to talk about the Doctor's next regeneration soon.
In 2009, technically started in 2008, but they didn't have a season. They had 4 specials. Technically, the 4th one was split into 2 pieces as well. So it's technically 5 special episodes.
Oh man, my teeth hurt.
The Next Doctor, Planet of the Dead, The Waters of Mars, and The End of Time. I particularly like The Waters of Mars and The End of Time. Planet of the Dead is also decent. The Next Doctor is not great, but it has the guy from The Walking Dead on it, the governor.
Yeah. When season 5 started, we were introduced to Matt Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I saw this guy, he has like no eyebrows.
This guy looks weird.
He looks like an alien.
He looks like an alien.
Like,
he doesn't feel like the Doctor. He
didn't feel right when you left.
He looks too young.
Yeah. When you left Dave Tennant, you're thinking the same thing as Christopher Eccleston. You're thinking, what the crap? This guy was great. Who is this?
When you leave David Tennant, you're thinking nobody else could possibly be a good Doctor. This guy is just too good. But the thing is, when you think about the Doctor, you think of somebody who has this grand knowledge of the universe, as this professor-type character, and you see Matt Smith, and you think, who the heck is this guy? You know?
Yeah.
Give me my Doctor back. This is not the Doctor. And then even the first few scenes with him, it's like, this is stupid. He's all hungry and he's spitting. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's kind of silly the way he's spitting out all the food, and it's kind of fun, but it doesn't feel like the Doctor, you know.
And now he's been in the show for almost as long as David Tennant was.
See, that started in 2010, so
This
it's
is
been
gonna
3
be like
years.
the best podcast ever.
Yeah, he's been on there for a while, and his storylines are the best storylines that the show has ever seen.
By the end of his first episode, you will know that this guy is the Doctor and he's going to be great. By the end of the 11th hour, that's the first episode with Matt Smith in it. He transforms into the Doctor by the end of the episode.
It didn't take me the end of the first episode. It took me a few episodes because I was still pretty hungover. David Tennant leaving.
I don't know. If you rewatch the 11th Doctor, by the end of that episode, it's like, holy crap, this guy's good.
But the storylines
not as good as David Tennant, but he's good.
The storylines completely change. They're awesome.
In a way, season 5 is sort of a slight reboot to the series. If you haven't seen,
you can start watching at that season because they wrap everything up in the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, if you there's no companions from the previous season. There's hardly any references to previous events. There are some small things here and there, but if you didn't see them, you're not going to notice them. The thing is, the only reason I would suggest watching from season 1 is because
it's awesome.
Well, no, season 1's not great, but it's got some good stuff in it. But Christopher Eccleston, first of all, he's great. But they explain it better. Like, to us from a starting position, Rose doesn't know anything. So we learn along the way with Rose who is the Doctor, and we learn that he's a Time Lord. We learn about the 2 hearts. We learn about the TARDIS. We learn all these things for the first time. If you start with season 5, they don't exactly explain them very well. You might figure it out along the way, but they don't go into explanation because they assume you've already heard those explanations.
Yeah.
So in that way, I think you can still start at season 5 if you don't feel like watching everything, but I think that you're missing out. And then if you watch starting with Matt Smith, and then you go back and watch Christopher Eccleston, you'll be like, what is this crappy show? It doesn't look like Doctor Who. This is stupid, and you'll turn it off. Because it looks, it's so low budget compared to Matt Smith's stuff,
I'm tell you what, I'm going through and looking at all the episodes of season 5, and I'm having a really hard time deciding which one I like the most.
Other than
I'm
the
having
finale.
a really hard time.
Other than the finale,
'Cause
right?
they're all great. One of my favorites is The Lodger.
The Time of Angels and Flesh and Stone. For me.
Those are good ones.
Yeah.
Amy's Choice is also a very good one.
Amy's Choice, I'm not a huge fan of that one. It's a good episode, but that's the one where they're the Dream Lord.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. The Vincent and the Doctor is also a fantastic
Vincent the Doctor's
episode.
awesome. I love The Lodger.
Lodger is fun.
Who farted?
It's just fun, but it's awesome.
I didn't used to think The Beast Below was that great, but when I rewatched it, it's actually a pretty good episode. That's another Stephen Moffat episode.
So, obviously, yeah.
But the finale, of course. Fantastic
Time of the
finale.
Angels, Flesh and Stone are amazing episodes. They're talked about later. But Pandorica opens in Big Bang.
The Time of Angels and the Flesh and Stone has one of the biggest details that you will most likely miss the first time you're watching it, that you will see the second time you're watching it. There's something that happens in the finale that really calls back to that episode, and you'll see it if you're watching it the second time.
One of the biggest kind of a reveal kind of a deal with Stephen Moffat.
Yeah, it's one of the things where you know Stephen Moffat knew exactly what he was doing when he filmed that episode, even though it was several episodes back. It's
right,
really, really
and you
cool.
know something's going on with Stephen Moffat when you're watching the show, and you're thinking, "What the crap? What the heck am I watching? I don't even get it." And then
that applies to most Stephen Moffat episodes. So.
Right, but he does actually answer those questions, as a lot of shows actually don't, and you're left hanging, wondering what's going to happen.
He does a very good job with that.
Right.
Boring.
The Christmas Carol episode, it was okay. It's better the second time around, but it's not my favorite Christmas special.
You talking about the one with the girl in the freezer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I like that better than I think it was the next one after that.
Yeah, that one was kind of dumb.
That one, I think that was my least favorite Christmas special of all time.
Season 6 as a whole is pretty good. There are some episodes that are kind of disappointing in Season 6.
Right.
But
it starts off with the Impossible Astronaut, and that was freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah. Those first two episodes are great. The Doctor's Wife is good. The Rebel Flesh and the Almost People are they're like half good, half bad. Like some of it is kind of dumb. Some of it is really good, I think. But the very ending of it is the best part, which then leads into A Good Man Goes to War, which is one of the best.
Let's Kill Hitler's better.
You think so? I think A Good Man Goes to War might be better. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Let's Kill Hitler. I love it.
They're both pretty. They're supposed to be a 2-part episode, but they were split across the summer.
If I had to say one that I didn't actually like all that much was Night Terrors.
Night Terrors is dumb.
Yeah. But then we
the
have
Girl Who Waited
closing...
is great. The God Complex is great. Closing Time's great. And
it's kind of like a sequel to the other one.
Great finale. I wish it was a 2-parter, The Wedding of River Song. I really wish that was a 2-parter.
That was a good one, yeah.
It would have been better as a 2-parter, I think.
But overall, other than the finale, what was the best episode? You think The Impossible Astronaut?
A lot of people will say... A lot of people really like The Doctor's Wife, but I would not say that. I would say... Probably... A Good Man Goes to War. But it could be Impossible Astronaut as well.
Good Man Goes to War is pretty good. Let's Kill Hitler is good.
I think a good Man Goes to War has a better reveal at the end than Let's Kill Hitler has some stuff, but I think Good Man Goes to War has a great ending.
I really like The Girl Who Waited.
That's really, really good, yeah.
But I think The Impossible Astronaut's the one for me, other than the finale.
Okay. The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe. Bleh.
Pope.
Yeah, I mean,
Boring.
it's more Doctor, but other than that, I didn't really care for it. There was another. Where is it? They don't have it on here. There was episodes on the DVD. What were they called? Night and the Doctor. If you had the DVD for season 6, there was a special special feature called Night and the Doctor that it has some scenes that took place during season 6, and there's some pretty good stuff in there. There's also Meanwhile in the TARDIS, which has the same thing for season 5, and those are also really good. But you might want to check those out if you haven't seen them, because they've got some good more Stephen Moffat stuff in them.
So we're up to our current season here.
All right, so we're gonna go by episode for this, episode by episode for this,
Right.
because this is more current. So let's start with Asylum of the Daleks.
Where are we? Spaceship, right?
Not just any spaceship. The Parliament of the Daleks. The Asylum must be cleansed. The Predator of the Daleks will be deployed. I'm not a predator, just a man with a plan. Doctor! Doctor! They killed all the Daleks. Who do you think?
Yes, this one was very important and
First of all,
pretty shocking.
Let's recap what happened at the end of the last season, because the end of the last season, the Doctor faked his death. Everybody thinks he's dead. River tells Amy that he's not, but other than that, he's off. He doesn't have a companion. He's off in hiding, and that's where the season starts out. Somebody.
And then we got silent. The silence will fall when the question is asked.
Yeah, the ultimate that hasn't been addressed yet, but the season ended with there's this ultimate question, and the Silence, the group that has those aliens, those are technically not the Silence themselves. They are part of the Silence, which is a religion, and the Silence itself is dedicated to making sure the ultimate question is not asked, because that's their kind of their whole goal. And the prophecy is the question will ask the ultimate question at the fall of the 11th. The Silence will fall at the fields of Trenzalore. I don't remember the whole thing, but the ultimate question is Doctor Who.
Right.
And
So,
I'm guessing we're probably going to find that out later this year.
We have to. I mean,
It's
the
gonna
fall
be
of
this
the
year.
11th, so that he's going to be regenerating to, the 12th
Maybe.
Doctor.
Maybe. We'll see. There's rumors. Okay, so it starts with Asylum of the Daleks. This episode starts out, and we find out the Daleks know he is still alive. They've had their sources, figure out that he's still
They've
alive.
called him in
The
because they need his
legend-
help.
The legend was that the Doctor, there's this great man. They say this man died a long time ago, but if he's still alive, we need his help, that kind of thing. But it's actually it was a trap to get the Doctor to help out the Daleks.
Right.
They need his help for the Dalek prison planet.
Okay, yeah. And while he's kind of forced to help them, he runs into this voice.
Hold on. First, they gather his companions because
they
said the
gathered
Doctor,
Amy and Rory.
The Doctor always needs a companion, but what we just found out is that Amy and Rory has split up.
They're getting a divorce.
Yeah, they're getting a divorce. So that's how the episode starts, and so everything's kind of shaken up, and now they're on this they're on this prison planet, and they hear a voice. Well, actually, I think
And that is
she identifies herself as Oswin.
Oswin, right? But we later find out her name is Clara. And she's a souffle girl.
Yeah,
So basically, it's the episode's less about the Daleks than it is her. I mean,
yeah.
She is a Dalek, which is what you find out in the end.
She's almost the main star of the episode.
Yeah. She, which is what, by the way, this is what I find most interesting about the season is that she seems to be as important of a character as the Doctor.
Yeah.
So.
She is as intelligent as the Doctor, and she is very mysterious. And we don't know a whole lot about her.
Yeah, she's very active too, like the Doctor.
Yeah.
She's a lot like the Doctor. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So he's running around trying to save the Daleks and try to save himself, Rory and Amy, and he ends up finding out that this souffle girl is actually a Dalek.
Right. So what happened was this girl, who identifies herself as Oswin, she said she was on this ship called the Starship Alaska, I believe it was called, and it crash landed. Yeah. It crash landed somehow onto this Dalek prison camp, and what apparently had happened was she was converted into a Dalek. Somehow she retained her personality. It's probably something to do with whatever or whoever she is, her abilities of some kind. Right. She's special in some way, and so she was able to retain her personality. And she didn't think she was a Dalek. She thought she was trapped inside this room, which somehow had enough, supplies to create souffles all the time. But no, we find out she's a Dalek, and she helps them escape. And I guess the reason Rory and Amy split up is because Amy wanted kids, Rory wanted kids, and Amy couldn't have any more kids because of whatever happened on the Good Man Goes to War. But I'm thinking, they already have a kid, River. And they already raised River, pretty much. They said, she was, Mel's, Amy's friend Mel's when they were growing up. So they basically saw River grow up as a child. So, yeah. I mean, they've already done that. So that whole plot line is a little weird to me. But the problem that I have with this episode, it's a great episode. But the problem I have with this episode, as well as the other episodes in the first half of season 7, is that they don't feel like Doctor Who. They don't feel like traditional episodes of Doctor Who. They feel like specials. They feel like what you would get, like if you have an Easter special, a summer special, a fall special. They feel like one-off. Like, they begin and they end. The companions don't stay with them. He picks them up in the beginning.
Right.
They do their thing, and then they drop them off.
I think that's the main reason, too, that the companions don't stay with him at the end. Every single episode, they go back home.
The first one that really starts to feel like a real episode is probably the last time you see Amy and Rory, because they're with him in the beginning already.
Right, and here's the thing. At this point in the season, we also haven't had any two-parter at all.
They don't do he's not doing two-parters anymore. Stephen Moffat said
is that just him, or are talking about the show at all?
Stephen Moffat said he doesn't want to do two-parters anymore. He says, any story you can tell in 45 minutes. So he wants to put everything into one episode.
Okay, well, not some.
I don't agree.
All of the two-parters were the best episodes.
I know. That's what I always said. If they're epic enough, they deserve 2 episodes. And if you go back to the original series, you had 6-parter episodes. Come on. One story arc was 10 episodes long. So, I mean, actually, no, one was 12 episodes long because this entire season was one story. They did that once with the 6th Doctor. It was all it was the Trial of a Time Lord. It was all one season. But okay, let's go on to the second episode called "The Dinosaurs on a Spaceship."
Riddell, listen, I found something.
What is it?
I have no idea. Do you want to find out?
Dinosaurs on a spaceship. You can help me. so much more. Are those pterodactyls? Yes.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Another interesting one.
I thought it was
the doctor
fun.
has to save. The doctor has to save this old guy who is kind of. I don't know. He just can't move around. His ship's gonna crash, and he's got dinosaurs on his spaceship.
The dinosaurs are there because the ship is actually a Silurian ship. And we learned about the Silurians in season 5.
Did, yep.
They're from the classic series as well.
You see, I understood you all up to the part where I was like, huh?
But the Silurians were a form of Homo reptilia. That's what they're called. They were an evolution of reptiles that were intelligent, like humans, and they lived alongside dinosaurs. But they buried themselves into the planet because they thought that the Earth was going to be destroyed. So perhaps these people that were on this ship, maybe they escaped the Earth instead of burying themselves into the Earth, and they took some of the dinosaurs with them. Maybe that's what they're there for. So that could be why they're on that ship. But they got all the Silurians got ejected from the ship by this old bad guy.
Yep.
And so all that's left with is the dinosaurs.
I liked the Tweedledee and Tweedledum robots.
They were great. They were really good.
They seem to be like based off of Tweedledee and Tweedledum or whatever those guys' names are in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
they're
know.
those big twin guys with the striped shirts. They're bald.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think. But I think it was a fun episode. It was a lot better the second time around. A lot better the second time around. The first time I was watching, I'm just, I'm getting a little impatient with Doctor Who doing these one-off specials, and I'm not probably appreciating it for what it was. And so that's probably the problem I had with the first time around. Now I know what to expect, I can appreciate it a little better. And I liked it better the second time I watched it.
Third episode was called Town Called Mercy, and it was pretty much the Terminator as an old western.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I'm the doctor. This is Code. No need to stand. Interesting.
Don't worry, everything is completely under control.
Everyone who isn't an American, drop your gun.
Face me!
This episode has the robotic assassin guy, or he's like a sheriff. He's coming to kill this wanted fugitive in the town, and the doctor has to protect that guy. This episode was a little bit more like a normal Doctor Who episode because they did start with the companions, I believe.
Okay, I see what you're saying that way. Mm-hmm.
Like I think Stephen Moffat is trying to be a little more cinematic and a little less goofy. Like if you go back and watch the Russell T Davies episodes with Eccleston and Tennant, there's a lot of goofiness in there, and even the first season of Matt Smith and part of the next one, there's a lot of goofiness in Matt Smith, but I think they're going more towards drama and less towards goofiness. And
well,
I like the drama,
the
but
part.
I like drama, but yeah, I want more of that goofiness back. It doesn't have to get too serious. Why so serious? It doesn't have to get so serious that it loses that classic, because Doctor Who is supposed to be a sci-fi drama comedy. It's all three of those, and action. But I think it's losing a little bit of the comedy. But I think with Clara, it's bringing that back.
Right,
which
and
I think is
we haven't really gotten to see that very much.
Yeah.
Fourth episode, Power of Three.
That should have been the third episode.
All right.
Haven't you seen them?
Invasion of the very small cubes. That's new.
I got secured. There are soldiers all over my house, and I'm in my pants.
We don't know what they're made of or why they're here.
Whoa! What kind of a welcome do you call that?
Geronimo.
Yeah, but
Power of 3 means cubed, and a whole bunch of cubes start showing up in the episode, and the cubes themselves are the villain of the episode. That's it.
there was actually the real villain is this it was this guy in a spaceship, and then they were supposedly like Time Lord fairy tales or something. I don't remember
That's
exactly
right.
who they were.
There's
I have a
something
feeling
about that. The
those
guy,
guys
the guy was
escaped.
supposed to be wiped out, but he said that we're in every kind of time period we're in.
Yeah,
we exist.
They existed. It was like shifted to the alternate dimension or something. That's where they were at, and I have a feeling they are going to return. Something about that episode, it made me feel like we haven't seen the end of them. They escaped at the end of the episode. I have a feeling we're not done with them. They haven't been referenced again yet, but I feel like maybe in the second half of this season or in the 50th anniversary or something, we might come back to them. There was something similar to that in the old series as well, called Omega. It kind of felt similar to the Omega, which was viewed as sort of a legend in Time Lord history. He's kind of the guy who created Time Lords. They used to be just normal people, and then they got these time powers given to them by what Omega did. So, and I believe it was the 20th anniversary or something, or the 10th anniversary, I don't know, something like that, where they had to fight Omega. So it might be something similar to that, where that's a Time Lord legend, another one.
Episode 5, the Weeping Angels made their triumphant return, and the Angels take Manhattan.
Hello, old friend. And here we are, on the last page.
It never moves while you're looking.
Even if you got out, you'd have to keep running for the rest of your life.
It's already happened. You've just witnessed your own future.
The angels are predators. They're deadly.
What's that? I don't know. But I think they're coming for you.
Yeah, the point of the Power of 3 was to get the group back together. Try to bring it back to the typical Doctor Who formula, and then the next episode we come crash that down by getting rid of them.
Well, see, I had a problem with this episode. I really liked it. I had a problem with it because I'm trying to figure out how the Statue of Liberty is a weeping angel. Still, I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's it seems like a plot hole to me. I guess it's not just angels anymore.
I mean, it's cool. It's freaking awesome, but I just don't understand.
Well, there's probably an explanation in there somewhere. They say that Weeping Angels basically took over Manhattan in the 40s or 30s or whatever it was.
Yeah, and then they built New York or whatever, or they built that building.
The Statue of Liberty is older than that, but yeah, I don't know. Something about that probably explains why the Statue of Liberty can be an angel. But other than that, it's obviously it was just because that's awesome to do. But I think that episode is extremely well done. First of all, it's the first time we see River, which I was disappointed we didn't see River in the first episode. I wanted to see her in the first episode as well, but she wasn't there.
Yeah. So at the end of the episode, we have Amy and Rory dying.
They get taken by the angels. They're
taken in and they live a long and happy life. They die as old people.
Here's the thing: when they're back in the past with the angels, they see Rory as an old man dead. They see him as an old man, and then they see him die. The thing about the whole theme of the episode is if you see your future, you can't change it. So what do they want to do? They want to change it. So they jump off the building so that Rory dies before he has a chance to die as an old man. They change the future by making it impossible. They make a paradox. And by making the paradox, they completely mess up the whole space-time continuum, and they wipe the angels from existence in that time period. However, there are still angels in the present, and one of them takes Rory. And so...
Well, the one in the present, they said... What would it say? They said right then that one of them must have escaped from...
the paradox?
The other time period.
I thought I saw that. I thought I saw that angel in the beginning of the episode, but I could be wrong. Anyway, the angel takes Rory back to the time period, so he is still gonna live out his old life as an old man and die, just like we saw him. So they didn't really change anything. Everything still happens, but the problem is they did still create that paradox in the past. So the Doctor can't go back there and save him. If he went back to a zone that had a paradox in it, the whole universe would explode. He physically cannot get his TARDIS back there. It's just too crazy of a time period to get in there. So he can never go back and save Rory. So what does Amy do? She gets taken by an angel herself.
But doesn't that create a paradox too?
No.
She wasn't there that first time.
Maybe she dies before him. Maybe she just was out getting groceries. I don't know.
Remember, he said that maybe I was there the whole time, and then he said, "I don't think so," because the way he looked at you is like he's the first time he's seen you in.
Okay, so maybe they did still create the paradox, but Rory got taken anyway. So he's still gonna die old. It's just a different way or something, and it's in the past. But the problem is Amy goes back there, and now what's wrong? The Doctor said it's impossible for him to get back there. He can never see Amy again if she goes back with the angels, but she has to see Rory, so she goes back with them. And that's the end of Amy and Rory, because the Doctor can't save them. He can't go back in time to get them.
Right, they're gone.
Yep.
So we move on to the...
Here's the thing. I think if they ever want to fix this, there's a way out of it, I think. What they could do is have the Doctor park his TARDIS outside of New York. Maybe park it in Washington, D.C. a few years earlier. You know? Drive his way up to New York. Stay there for a few years. Wait until Amy and Rory show up. And, hey, I'm here. And then drive them out of the city. And then go back to the TARDIS.
Well, think too hard there. The show would be boring if you did that.
They could still do that if they wanted to. Like, if they wanted to bring them back for a special, I think there's a way out of it. But...
Alright, so we got the Snowmen Christmas special. This is the best Christmas special ever.
Do you think it's the best episode of the season?
Best, well, I think so.
I think so.
Across the universe, it's everyone's favorite Christmas tradition.
Hello?
Did you make this snowman? Because it wasn't there a second ago.
That's not possible.
There is danger here.
This snow could be a terrible weapon in the wrong hands.
Winter is coming. The last winter of humankind.
I think it's better than Asylum of the Daleks, which I loved. I think it's better than that.
I think
better
like
than
Angels,
the. Yeah, the Angels Take Manhattan.
Angels Take Manhattan better than Daleks.
Oh really?
Asylum of the Daleks.
That one's a tough comparison for me to make, but I think the Snowman is the best out of all of them. It's just really good. I mean, it's all due to Clara. She is just...
Yeah, Rita introduced us to Clara, and we found out that something's going on with her, and she can die, but...
Well, when we first see her, see, here's the thing. They did not tell us that this was going to be the new companion. They told us that the person in the Snowmen was going to be the new companion. We know she was Clara. We knew Clara was going to be the new companion. But when we saw Asylum of the Daleks, we did not know that person was going to be the new companion. We knew it was the same actress. We found that out later, actually. But we knew it was going to be the same actress. But sometimes
thought
they
it was going to be a different character.
Yeah, if you go back and watch season 2 of Doctor Who, in the last episode of season 2, the actress that plays Martha plays a character in that. They go back later and say that was actually Martha's cousin, but but it's not Martha.
And Amy's there too, yeah.
Amy's in season 4 as one of the people in Pompeii, as one of the sightseers in Pompeii. So it could have been we were thinking it was probably just going to be a different character, but that's not the case. She was this person in the 1800s, and I could tell pretty close that she already had a similar personality, but I wasn't
same
sure.
Attitude.
I wasn't sure if that
she
was
was actually almost wearing the same thing.
Oh really? I wasn't sure if that was just because, you know, the actress is just that way, or if that was on purpose. And
right.
But by the end of the episode, we find out that her name is Clara Oswin Oswald, so it's the same character, and the Doctor figures that out.
Right, and something's going on with this character. She can't die, or she can.
She dies. Yeah.
But she's always somewhere else.
Okay, so she dies as Clara Oswin Oswald in the 1800s. And we see that gravestone. But then the next scene cuts to the present, apparently, and it shows Clara walking through the graveyard. You can see her old 1800s gravestone there, and the new Clara walks right past it, not noticing it. She says, "I don't believe in ghosts," which is funny. But we don't know what's up with that. What the heck? So apparently she is reincarnated, or she's an alien, or I have no idea what's going on, but she exists again in the present.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about this from the Power of 3. He met that one alien in the ship that said, we wiped you out.
Yeah.
And he's all like, you did, but I'm always somewhere. I'm always alive somewhere. In time.
Okay, so you
sounds
there might
familiar.
be a connection. There might be a connection between that alien species and Clara, perhaps.
Maybe. I was just thinking about that from what he said. I was like, wait, that's exactly what's going on with Clara.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'll have to go back and see exactly what he said there, but
Yeah, but she don't look like no alien beast.
Anyway, so we know that she's alive in the present. We don't know how. We don't know what the heck is going on, but the Doctor's coming to find her because he knows there's something special about her. I mean, even before he knew about her ability, he knew that she was gonna be a special person to be a companion with, because, just like we all did. She is just gonna be great, I can tell. And here's the thing. This new episode, The Snowmen, we got a new TARDIS.
We did.
Brand new TARDIS.
And
I was wondering.
A new TARDIS and a new title sequence as well.
Yeah.
Second time in the season. The new title sequence.
Well, the first one was really just a new font and kind of different color scheme, but the new one was completely redesigned. And you
got to see that 3D face of Matt Smith and the Stars, which they haven't done since the old series.
Well, they did it in the 1996 movie as well, but yeah.
Okay, well, that don't count.
I believe they did. Anyway, I believe if you watch season 7, they hardly ever show the inside of the TARDIS. That's what I was confused about that. That's another thing that made it feel weird, because we didn't hardly ever see the inside of the TARDIS. I believe they showed it when, at the end of the first episode, the Doctors go on, Doctor Who, because the Daleks no longer know who the Doctor is. And so he was having fun with that. And then I believe we might also see it when they're taking Rory's dad around outside the Earth to see the Earth from space, you know? We might see the inside of the TARDIS in that scene, I'm not sure. Either that or we just see him sitting on the outside, I'm not sure.
When I'm talking about season 7, we've gotten through 6 episodes so far, one including the Christmas special, and you know what? Versus season 6 and season 5, we're going.
There's 14 episodes this season.
It's kind of gone downhill. I think. I like it, but it's nowhere near the epicness at this point in last season or the season before.
I think the problem is they were stalling. They were, they're like, okay, let's get a few more episodes out of Amy and Rory. And I like Amy and Rory, but the way they did that, they should have just gotten rid of them after the first episode and gone with Clara. The Snowmen should have been the second episode of the season,
Yeah.
Either that or the Angels should have been the second episode and then the Snowmen or something, something that would have made things move a little quicker, because I think they were just stalling until they got to Clara, because they knew Clara was going to be great, and I think that's the whole direction of the season is going to be about Clara, not the Amy and Rory stuff. That stuff was just
I think
filler.
it will get a heck of a lot better when it comes back, and I think it's going to feel more like Doctor Who because we've got a full-on companion.
Yeah. If you look at season 6, there's a lot of filler in there, and I believe the stuff with the first half of this season is kind of going to be the filler of this season, and the second half is going to be more focused.
You know what's interesting about Clara? It's
a lot of things.
Yeah, well, that, but I mean, what if it's like the other companions, and something happens, and it's this tragic scene where she dies, but she can't.
Yeah, they'll probably get away with that somehow.
Is there ever going to be another companion?
Now, here's the thing. How is the Doctor going to find her again?
I don't know. He's got his ways.
Is he just going to stalk that area of town for all the years to come until he finds another Clara? How does he know that she's going to be in that part of the town? Because she was in the Dalek world before.
I say just go to Modern Times and look her up on Facebook. She's got the same name.
There you go. That's probably it.
I don't know. But I'm saying, is there ever going to be another companion? Because she can't die.
I think what I want is whenever Matt Smith regenerates, I want this companion to be. I want whatever companion is still with him when he regenerates. I want them to continue on to the next one, because that's something that we haven't done since Rose, and I think that's something that is pretty important in creating a new Doctor. I think that happened a few times in the old series as well, and they should do that more often, is keep the same companion while the Doctor regenerates. I think that's a pretty important thing to do. And if the Doctor regenerates this year, then that's going to be what's going to happen, because Clara is in season 8.
I didn't know she was in season 8. Spoiler alert.
You can edit that out if you want.
Do you want to know the episode title of the next episode?
I don't want to.
The Bells of St. John.
Okay.
That's all. That's all I know about the episode. That's all it's called.
The Bells. Those are the villains, and I don't know.
Yeah, sure. It's the bells. The bells, the bells, the bells of Notre Dame. He's going to Notre Dame. Wait, no. It said St. John. So I don't know what that is.
The thing about this podcast is I know we're going to probably want to talk about theories. But one thing about that is when you talk too much about theories, you kind of put every theory out there. And when you put every theory out there, the surprises aren't as big anymore. And so I want to be...
I've made theories, and I made theories that could fill a room, on the walls, but when it came down to answering them, I was way off.
I've been correct on a few things, but I do want to make theories, but I want to limit our theories. So I think we should...
Don't tell the best theories.
No, I mean, I think we should just be careful in not putting too many theories into something. So if we've already theorized about something, we shouldn't really create a new theory about the same thing. I think if we should limit the amount of time we talk about theories on the podcast as
Like,
well.
if we have one question, each of us gets a theory. Like, I think this is going to happen. Well, I think about this one. Basically.
I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Well, you could. I don't know. I'm just saying we should limit the amount of time we talk about theories so that we don't put too much thought into it, so that we still keep the anticipation and the surprise still ends up being pretty decent by the time we get there. When we finally get to the reveal. Stephen Moffat does it in a way where it's almost impossible to predict anyway, but if you put too much thought into anything, you're probably going to find the answer. So I just want to limit that theory discussion a little bit just to keep things fresh.
Right. Well, that's all the time we have for Smaller on the Outside, unless you want to add anything.
Is there any place they can contact us or call or
Nope,
email?
not at all.
Okay.
Actually, Smaller on the Outside, you can find us on Facebook. We've got a Facebook page, which you can message the page itself if you want to have any suggestions or questions. And that can be found facebook.com/Soto Podcast. And we got other stuff on there like recaps and.
We should probably consider getting a Google Voice voicemail account for the show as well. If we ever get enough viewers that they start sending in, voice messages, we could do that.
Might be difficult.
I don't know.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
I'm computer illiterate. So, thank you for tuning in. I know it was a bit lengthy today. We were covering a lot of stuff. Next episode or two shouldn't be this lengthy because we're just talking about each individual episode. So,
although we're going to be doing them on the day that they're airing, so we're going to have the ideas are going to be a lot more fresh in our minds. The episodes are going to be more new to us, so we're going to have probably a little bit more we can talk about for each episode than what we did today when we talked about the earlier episodes of the season, but it will be shorter in total length, I think. But we're going to try to release those on the same day that the episode aired, as soon after the episode aired. That's when we're going to try to release them.
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try. We've had our luck and unluck with podcasts in the past, but we think we got it figured out this time because we got centered focus on one show and one show only, not every show imaginable on Earth.
Although we might consider doing special episodes. It's not going to be a regular thing, but if there's a special thing that we might want to talk about in another show or something, we might make a single episode dedicated to that. I'm not sure yet.
I mean, I wouldn't put out the idea of doing podcasts for Sherlock when that comes back, because there's only 3 episodes. So
true.
It's all in talks right now. It's all in talks.
Still figuring things out. But for the most part, these episodes should be released either Saturday night or Sunday morning, probably, somewhere in there.
We're going to try to keep it consistent, because we know how much consistency is important. So, thank you for listening to Smaller on the Outside.
Did you give the email addresses? Did you give the email addresses you gave the Facebook, right?
I gave the Facebook. I don't have an email.
You don't have an email yet?
No.
Okay, then. You should probably get that, though. Some people don't have Facebook.
Yeah. We will try to get email up and running here soon. But
you want to talk about the blog?
The blog. Soto blog?
Sure.
Well, and also as I've mentioned, you can find other things on the blog, and which are also posted on my personal Twitter and Facebook. We have recaps and mini recaps. I have a feature called TV Rewind, which is when I go through an old show that's already been completed, and I go through it and make little recaps about what was important about the episode. And the show, the blog itself has full recaps as it is now, but I'm thinking that's going to change soon, and I'm going to make everything small recaps because I don't have much time, and I'm also managing a movie review site called Dave Examines Movies, which you can see in a link under this article. And but yeah, you can follow us for now. Before I change it, I might be able to change it soon. You can follow us on Twitter at my IamDWG Twitter handler, handler, whatever. You can follow us there. For now, I'm probably gonna make a new account for that. And you can follow us on Facebook with facebook.com/SotoPodcast. And we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you for joining us today. This is Smaller on the Outside. I am David Gillian, your Time Lord.
I am Andy, the companion.
I'm Tim. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
The Timbot. Thank you all. Have a good evening and good night.